everyone, welcome to our program, Bay Area Focus. Today we'll talk about very interesting and exciting culture phenomenon, that is Shen Yun Performance. Shen Yun will start their 2018 tour on December 22nd, 2017. Today we have two distinguished guests, Linda Campo and Matthew Kuang. They will share with you the experience with Shen Yun. Hello, Linda. Hello, Matthew.
Hello.
Hi, Harvey.
So first of all, why not you share about a little bit of yourself?
I live in Sonoma County, and I actually have my own business. I have been a circulation therapist for over 40 years now. And so I have a home-based business, and I have lived in Sonoma County since about 1969.
Yeah. How about Matthew?
My name is Matthew. I live in Sonoma County. It's just like Linda. We are actually almost neighbors, the same area we're living. And I've been living there for 1985, so it's a kind of a long time. So it's a Sonoma County. It's like my hometown feeling these days.
So both of you are Shen Yun volunteer. So first question I want to know, what is Shen Yun?
Well, Shen Yun is the true essence, to me, it's the true essence of Chinese culture. And the Chinese, as I learned, believed that their land was created by divine beings, and that at one time both man and deities walked the earth at the same time. And I think that this is what I feel about Shen Yun when I see that, when I watch a program, I see this closeness that there is to the divinity, where mankind used to meditate every day, and there was a thoughtfulness, and he used to be sure to bring value into his life. This was very, very important. And as I see today, the art of Shen Yun has this thoughtfulness and this beauty, because what we do, who we are inside, is reflected on the outside. And so this to me is what Shen Yun is. It has a divinity and it has a purity, and through Shen Yun there is a way to finding the divine.
Okay, so Matthew, we said about the word Shen Yun. So what's the really stand for? It convert back from the Chinese character to English. What's your understanding?
Right. That's we heard a lot of times when we go out and promoting Shen Yun, and people ask, "What is a Shen Yun?" Shen Yun actually, literally, character-wise, it's a divine being performing through the arts, like dance and music together. That's a whole idea of this Shen Yun, is showing traditional Chinese culture. The classical Chinese dance shows. It's accompanied with a live orchestra. Shen Yun actually brings up these thousands of years of Chinese good culture to the stage with this beautiful backdrop, with these well-trained dancers. And then the first class, the top class, actually the musicians playing. So you have a really good the first class entertainment. At the same time, you have a good knowledge of the traditional classical Chinese show.
Okay, so when is your first time watching the Shen Yun?
I saw Shen Yun the first time in 2010.
Okay, what's your feeling back to that time?
Oh, you know what I remember most is that while I was listening to the artist that was playing the erhu, tears just flowed out of my eyes. It was so beautiful. It just opened my heart. I'd never experienced anything quite like that. And the other thing was that it was just the colors. It was so beautiful.
Matthew, how about you? When is your first time to watching the Shen Yun?
My first experience was 2006. That at the Opera House that Shen Yun studied. I didn't expect it that I was going to have that profound experience, even though I grew up Korea with this culture that what we normally call Korean traditional dance. So I was kind of expecting like, oh, maybe Chinese probably culture show will be just like that. And then it wasn't. It wasn't like Linda brought it up, the beautiful colors, the when curtain went up. My tears start rolling up. I mean, entire show, I was having this profound experience that Shen Yun actually, it's not just go enjoy the show. It's a profound educational and spiritual shows through dance and music, and that made me becoming actually big fan of the Shen Yun and becoming one of the person to promoting Shen Yun every year.
Okay, thank you, Matthew. So next session we'll talk about why Linda and Matthew will become the Shen Yun volunteer. So Matthew, just now we talked about Shen Yun, what's the Shen Yun meanings. So why you become a Shen Yun volunteer?
Because after that first show had a profound experience, I wanted to share this experience with my community. So at first year, I didn't know much about my Sonoma County because I just work and back and forth. So I started going to Korean community in Bay Area, particularly Oakland and San Francisco. So I went to Oakland, the East Bay Senior Center that have almost $200-300 memberships, and I went over there, explained that one, and surprisingly, it's this even the old the senior Koreans, they are showing a really good interest. So that's how I started. And then San Francisco, that's when I normally will come San Francisco over the weekends, go out and sometimes go churches, sometimes these shops that introduce with these Shen Yun albums.
So you must have a lot of interesting story. Can you share a little bit with us?
Sure. So these days I will go out with the Linda mainly to Sonoma County these days, because that's why I invited to say our neighbor should go down there, not just San Francisco people. So we've been gone out about 5-6 years, and then lately we are, especially this year, Sonoma County has a really terrible, the wildfire went on. People still almost to be just coming down hard, so to speak. But when we start going talk to them, their response get much positive this year, especially we went out to my neighbor, one of these realtors' office with Linda, and then surprised to see this manager already seen this Shen Yun show in Las Vegas. Linda, you remember that?
I do. Yeah.
That make us really well as a volunteer. These days when we go out and say, even before we say something, they already recognize us, say, oh, it's that time of the year. And we just automatically, naturally showing these beautiful posters, and sometimes they even say, let me have that, I'll post for you. Okay. So it's a really good feeling to becoming a volunteers.
Okay. How about Linda?
Well, actually, dance has always been in my life. My mother was a dancer, and after seeing my first Shen Yun performance, I just thought everyone that I knew needed to have this experience. And so I really wanted to share it. So I shared it with all of my clients and all of my friends, and almost all my clients have gone. We used to take carfuls of people. Matthew would drive because he has a very large capacity in his car. And so we would go and make a day of it and have a lunch and just make an excursion, an outing. And so I've continued to do that, but it just was something that I felt people really needed to know about. And the ads are wonderful, but when you talk to them about a deeper meaning or what it meant to you, I think that that's something that connects with people on another level.
Okay. So I heard about every year the Shen Yun program will brand new. So there must be a lot of pieces. So which one is your favorite?
Oh, that's hard to say. The different pieces. You know, I can tell you kind of groupings if you don't mind.
Okay.
When it's the story about the phoenix, I've never seen the beautiful lady dancers, the blues that they wear. I've never seen that color before. And then when the men dance, the Himalayan dances, they're so vigorous in their flips and their turns. I mean, they're so strong. It's very exciting, those dances. And I love the strategy of the legend of the straw boats when the two armies were facing each other on both sides of the Yangtze River, one having 50,000 people, the other 800,000. And the general, Zhuangzi Liang, he knew that he needed 100,000 arrows, and so he made all of these people out of straw and put these in these boats. And on a foggy night when there was no moon, the boats went across and he beat the war drums. And so then the opposing army, of course, started getting their arrows, started shooting at them. And he got his 100,000 arrows and came back to the shore.
Okay.
I mean,
so you like the Chinese traditional history, right?
I like the story.
Okay.
That came later. For me, at first, it was the ethnic dances and the backdrops, and being able to be in the dynasties.
So you already from
regions.
the show itself back to the culture.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How about Matthew?
Oh, yes. Like I still remember Linda was keep on talking about these ethnic dances because she used to like to doing dance. So every time when she watching Shen Yun show, she would love it. She would get connection with these ethnic dances, and then eventually, like what she said, like for Chinese these histories. So my experience is that. I like these lady dancers come in with this long sleeve, water sleeve, I think it says. It's every time they just fling this, the sleeve goes out. It's like my heart's going out at the same time. It's a really lovely show. And then this Manchuria called a ladies dance show that with this really tipsy kind of shoes they wear, and then this elegant, this walking with their whole this movement is like, to me, it's almost like a magical. And then not to mention their outfit is so colorful and then brilliantly designed. And then when this man dance comes with this the drum beats, and it's like so brave, showing the royalties, showing the braveness of this, the immense of this power, all this color, and then not to mention this Shen Yun. The opera, the Shen Yun orchestra playing this music with especially Chinese traditional instrument comes out, and that's when I think it's the tear rolling down. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So just now we talked about the technique and the story, the culture. So which aspect, if our audience want to see Shen Yun, they can get from the show?
Well, that's sort of the question, what to ask them to find out what their interest is, because there's so much. I mean, the mastery of the digital backdrops that put you in dynasties, or the areas that the ethnic dances are going to be done in, or through the legends. And the orchestra, the Shen Yun Symphony Orchestra, it's just wonderful. The music is beautiful. You've never heard anything like it.
Okay.
So for music lovers, and then for people who dance, and the history. There's so much there. It's hard to know where to start. So you try to find out what someone's interested in.
So I'm curious. So you are the Westerner.
Yes.
So can you understand the storyline talking about the Chinese history?
I had to learn. I wasn't brought up with Chinese legends. And so after the show, I would read the book, and then there's a website that tells a little bit more. And, especially legends that I really liked, I read more about them.
Okay, thank you, Linda. So next section, we'll talk about the Shen Yun schedule this year in Bay Area. So in this session, let's first watch the 2017 Middle Autumn Shen Yun Technique Showcase. Let's see the short clip. Wow, that's really exciting.
Yes, it is. That is, I think, it's the essence of the movements that Shen Yun dancers all showing these difficult movements, the techniques.
Okay, so for the Shen Yun, how many performances they've been performing each year, and how many cities they went to?
Well, they do about 120 performances in 120 cities, and there are 19 different continents that they play on, and they do about 400 to 500 performances.
Wow. Yeah.
And there are 5 performing groups that go, 5 Shen Yun troops, and this is 5 continents that they perform on. And so I just want to say, every time I see that video or watch them, I get so inspired. I'm so glad you put that into the show today.
Okay, so in Bay Area, I heard about every year Shen Yun also can get a lot of award because they are performing in the Bay Area. Can you talk about a little bit about this?
There are many of the assemblymen, the state senator, that compliment and give proclamations for this show, being a show that brings to the stage the history of China and its values. Well, last year Nancy Pelosi and the entire assembly from Sacramento wrote proclamations in appreciation for Shen Yun.
Yeah, that's really great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matthew, the question for you is that someone will see I never watched Shen Yun, or someone say I watched Shen Yun several times already. Why should I watch Shen Yun this year?
Because Shen Yun comes every year. It's a new program. Even though you went show for once, twice, or 3 times, or that matter, you could still enjoy because Shen Yun every year prepares a new dance, new choreographer, new piece music, new colors, new costumes, everything. It is some maybe have a continual shows coming like a Monkey King, as for instance. It goes, but the actually storyline is different. The dance is different. So that's how we explain that to the people, and then saying like, oh well, maybe it's a Chinese one that I made, don't understand. You don't have to understand any Chinese histories, because this art is a universal language that you just get to know. With this dance, beautiful backdrop comes, and then this beautiful music. You don't have to know. Even 5, 6 years old children could just sit there. They don't even move. Okay. And then the people who, even the tough man, sits there and they are in tears. That's what they said. And then this man said, it's like I was sitting just at the edge of the chair and then hoping. Never ends. It's just like that's what I feel. So that's when people saying I already seen show once. I said you could go this show next time. You will have a different perspective and different whole experience that will last for the year to come. And then they really like to hear that.
So Shen Yun is suitable for everyone, right?
Absolutely, everybody. And if you think that it's just a Chinese show, that's not the case. There are MCs that, they speak in English and Chinese, and I just love it. And everyone understands the stories, no matter what age. In fact, my first time, I heard all this laughter in the audience, and it wasn't from kids, it was from adults. And it's just uplifting and wonderful.
Right, it's like the young and old. It's not just limited to just one age group. You could just come with the youngest at 5, 6 years old, the teenager, and all these the grown-ups and the seniors. Whole family could come and enjoy, and that's how normally encourage that, because the people sometimes this all just for the grown-up shows. It's that's what I normally say. We could only say show because it's actually show, but once you have this experience, you have so much you get from this Shen Yun show.
Okay.
So, like sometimes, like some people will ask, like my so friend is Chinese, or so on the mother-in-law or the friend is the Chinese or something. And then when we go out and talking, there's a really easy to talk, because the Shen Yun actually has everything in there. Like if you say computer major and doing these graphics, and then the backdrop is that they could have a lot of aspirations from that. Or if you are designed for this fashion, nobody make your fashion statement like a Shen Yun does. And if you are a friend of or you're a student of the music, you come to Shen Yun, this opera music, you just have that's already well worth it to come in for just for listening this our Shen Yun orchestra. So that's how I normally say, and then people really like to hear that, and they said, oh, you make me this go to this Shen Yun show right now.
I want to buy the ticket. So what's the schedule this year?
The schedule starts on January the 1st in San Francisco, and this is an afternoon matinee, and then that's a Monday, and then there is a show on Tuesday and Wednesday in the evening, Thursday in the evening, and Friday and Saturday in the afternoon and evening, and Sunday on the evening, on the matinee.
Okay.
So there are 8 shows altogether in San Francisco.
Okay, so right now is the holiday season.
Yes.
So for our NTD audience, what's the coupon or benefit they can get?
Oh, there is a benefit, yes. So the ticketing fee will be waived, and if you need to have a ride from the BART station to the Opera House at from the Civic Center UN Plaza, we will make that arrangement for you. There will be an arrangement made for you, a shuttle, and you will get $10 off toward a meal at the War Memorial Opera House, and that's for the evening shows. And then also there is an $11 coupon that will be a discount on any of the items that you might want to have for souvenirs.
Okay, great. So what's the coupon code?
This is called the WSF.
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 Okay.
So please say that, and then you will get all those benefits.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Harvey.
Have a
So we are looking forward to see you in the theater. Thank you.